It's time now for the Tom Lacey Sports Show on Hometown Radio WIRY. Here's your host, Tom Lacey.
Good morning to everyone here. We have an excellent show coming up. First thing I want to say is I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving, and you got to get rid of that 5 extra pounds now, like I do, although I needed it. But at any rate, we have some great guests. And a really big topic. It's something that's really been a problem probably for the past 3 years. There's a gigantic referee shortage. Just people don't want to referee anymore, and we're going to find out why from some experts and how to rectify it and just their opinions. And I have mostly basketball officials. I do have right here, right now, Jim Varin, a local excellent referee who does, I believe, 3 sports. And he actually does Division I softball, and excellent official. I'm going to let him start. It's Jim Varin. And I'm going to have him give a little background on himself, on what sports he's officiated. And then we'll get right into the heart of the matter, the referee shortage, and so on. Jim?
Good morning, Tom, in the North Country. I didn't gain 5 pounds. I only gained 3. Thanks, Mike Penfield. He cut me off halfway through the turkey. But anyways, as far as sports go, this happens to be my 50th year of sports. I started when 1974, you do the math. Was umpiring. My uncle Alton Guerin got me started, and from there I just took off, and I enjoyed what I was doing. And I was riding a bicycle for about 4 to 5 miles to the game downhill, and then of course after the game it was all uphill, and I was making I think $3.50 a game. Yeah, and carrying a big balloon and mask and everything, and that's where I got started. And I've officiated 50 years of umpiring. 17 years I did volleyball. And when my daughter graduated, I got out of that. And I do college soccer, high school soccer. Then I go into basketball in high school, basketball and boys only. And then baseball and softball. And I used to do college baseball and college softball, and at the same time I was wearing 4 different hats. So that was a little bit difficult if you understand the rule differences between the 2 sports, let alone the 4 different levels. So I had to give up one, and I was doing better and getting better assignments in softball, so I stuck with that, and I'm fortunate enough to be doing it at a higher level. So
you're still in great shape. Again, we have Jim Varin here. You never did wrestling at all? Because didn't you wrestle in high school?
I did wrestle in high school, and I had to choose between, in the winter sports, between wrestling and basketball, and I chose basketball. And volleyball used to be in the winter too, so I was doing volleyball and basketball in the winter because of knowing that my daughter was going to play.
Mm-hmm.
And wrestling was minimal as far as how many opportunities you got in the calendar week.
Sure.
And so I played basketball in wrestling practice, if you could believe that, to lose weight and keep in shape. And so I kind of felt I knew enough about the game of basketball to get started. And we have some great officials, including yourself, that have helped me along the way to be a better official. And that's where it all starts. You got to, bank on your friends and make friends, and it's a great release of stress for me. I worked in Dannemora prison for years, and I really looked forward to officiating. I would get done working at the jail, and I'd go for a run. As you know, I was an avid distance runner for years and years.
Oh, yeah.
I'd go and run, and I'd play my guitar, and then I'd go officiate.
That's something else, Jim Varin here. Did you ever wrestle me at all?
You don't want to bring that up.
No,
I say that sign about Gravelly Point.
I'm not going to bring that up. That's an inside joke.
Yeah.
A long time ago. Talk about. We're going to get right into it. The referee shortage. What's causing it? What do we do, and how do we rectify it? Are there any ideas that you have?
Well, Tom, it's right now. It's been going on for quite some time through the years, locally, statewide, and nationwide. I officiate spring training. I go out. I used to go to Florida for 12 years, and then I switched, and I've been going to Arizona for the last 12 years. So I've umpired with the people all over the country, and it's not just here in little old Clinton County. It's statewide and it's nationwide. And there's so much out there for the kids to do today. I've said numerous times, there's not a lot of 18-year-olds knocking the door down to take our place. I think I've said that too many times, as a matter of fact. But everywhere I go, everybody I've talked to, they all say the same thing. Social media, the fans, the money, what can we do to entice others to come and officiate? This year in basketball, we just started our basketball season locally. I think I'd have to ask the boys, but I think we have 16 new people.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That came in for basketball.
I got to give credit to Randy Lozier on that. Good job, Randy, if you're listening, which you're probably not.
He could be. You never know.
I hope so.
And I'll second that. Randy's done a great job advocating for sports officials. There's a lot of us that are out there. We have recruitment fairs that we do. This is one thing that I think is a bonus to try to get officials. I don't want to name names, but we've had a few younger guys that came in for and girls for soccer and basketball this year, and that's a good thing. We've had a couple people return. We have a coach that coached at Beekmantown. I won't say his name, but he's now going to officiate. So he saw the light, and he's.
Oh yeah, I know he is.
You know he is, and so that's good to see. I don't know what the answer is. We've tried our fees. As you know, I've negotiated 44 years of contracts locally here for our officials. It'll be 44 when this one's done. So I'm at 40 now. But we've tried everything, and hopefully the money's a bonus to them.
Can you talk about modified JV and varsity fees prior to travel? And then if you want to add travel, let me, if you have maybe if you don't have them written down, at least a general idea.
I have the fees today are, if you're going to work a varsity game locally within 0 to 20 miles, you're going to get $113.
Oh my gosh!
For the game. And if you go as much as 50 miles one way, so if you live in Plattsburgh and drove to Saranac Lake Placid, you're going to get $136 for a varsity contest. If you drive to, like, say, Johnsburg, Wells, something from the Southern Board area, you're looking at probably $180 with mileage to do one contest, varsity.
It's varsity.
Yeah, modified locally is, I believe it's 88, and JV is about 96, maybe 98.
And then you add that mileage.
That's mileage incorporated. Back in the day, when we used to get paid mileage, we knew the distance from home to the school. Then they went district to district, and the mileage was incorporated into your fees lately, the last few contracts. But back then, we're getting $26 a game. Mm-hmm. When I first started in high school in 1980, it was approximately, I think I was getting $18 a game, but it was a step up for me from doing the rec ball in the summer here and slow pitch and stuff like that. Getting $6 a game to 24, 18, whatever the cost was back then, the fee, I should say. Mm-hmm. It was a bonus. And
wow.
And that was Good. I used to work on a farm for 50 cents for the day, let alone 50 cents an hour.
Yep. Again, we have Jim Varin here, one of the most experienced officials there is. 50 years of officiating. I didn't even know that. And
hard to believe when I'm only 48, huh?
Okay. He is a funny guy, and he's a good friend, and he's an excellent official. Jim, what is your favorite sport to officiate, or to umpire, or to referee, or whatever? What do you like the best?
Honestly, Tommy, I'm probably well known for umpiring, but I enjoy all of them. I just absolutely love to officiate. I still have the passion. And when that goes away, maybe I'll go away, or maybe I'll die first. I don't know.
No.
There's some people out there, a good friend of mine, you know who I'm talking about, 75 years old. He can still run with the best of them.
Oh, yeah. And that's Steve Tulaski. I'm not afraid to mention his name. He's an excellent referee still. You know, it really comes down to experience, game management, and just tell me about how you get the people that are screaming at you. How do you get that out of your head?
I probably have a better way of handling that because of my experience in a maximum security prison. So I probably have a little bit thicker skin. I think if I can deal with New York's finest, if you will, I can deal with Johnny Q. Public in the bleachers and on the sidelines. So I used to have a little bit of a line that kind of offended people that I used a couple times. And I all said, if I let them step on me and let them draw the line, then I'm not doing my job.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew when it was time to draw the line. And, they're there to see, little Johnny and little Susie play the game. They're not there to see me, but I'm part of it. And without me, the games can't happen. And I'm not there to make friends, but I'm not there to make enemies either. And I have a job to do, and the kids have a job to do, the fans have a job to do, and sportsmanship's big. And I believe New York State adopted a program, and I know the section locally here has adopted as well. If you get ejected from a contest as a fan, you have to take a course. And if you don't take the course and pass it, you don't get to come back and watch little Johnny and little Susie play.
Mm-hmm.
And which is a good thing. And if you get booted out 2 or 3 times, I think the third time you're done. Mm-hmm. You're done. And I believe the second time there's more time invested. I don't really, Randy would know that, exactly how that goes. But that's important. It's important.
Yes.
The fans should know that.
And this might be our guest, so
Sure.
I think it is Jim Varin here, and I'm hoping this is Mike Kitts, and if it is, Jim, just listen in if you have any questions.
Certainly.
Hello, you're on with the Tom Lacey Sports Show.
Hi, Tom. This is Mike Kitts. How you doing?
Hey, Mike. Thank you so much for calling in. It's really appreciative that you are calling in, and I have a whole bunch of questions for you. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. First thing, talk about how you started officiating. How old you were, and I also heard you were an outstanding player too.
I was all right.
Come on, you're humble.
When I played in college and I played in adult rec leagues, I was a pain in the butt to referees. And I look back at this and I said, why did I act like that? And so a referee who became my high school assigner, John Sherlock, he's passed away. We became really good friends. And he told me, he goes, if you think you know so much, why don't you take the test? So I took the test. I took the test at 24, and I refereed until I was 64. And I thank John Sherlock every day for, getting me involved in refereeing. If he didn't say that to me, I probably would not got involved in officiating.
Wow. Again, we have Mike Kitts here, who has been. How many times have you been to the Final Four?
4 times.
4 times. Wow, that's flat out
96,
amazing.
2002, 2003, and 2007. It was fun. I mean, my first Final Four was in '96. That was the last year they were playing at the small arenas. That was where the New Jersey Nets played. And I had the Kentucky UMass game, and Pitino coached Kentucky, and Calipari coached UMass with Marcus Camby and all those other guys. But that game was 81-74. I don't know how you remember that, but and Kentucky beat UMass.
Do you remember your very first varsity high school game and how you felt, and anyone you want to attribute success to on helping you through that? And
my first high school game was Fayetteville Manlius and Janesville DeWitt, which was a big rivalry, and it was at Fayetteville Manlius, and it was a guy named John King who did a little bit of Division I basketball.
Okay.
He was my son's baseball coach at Bishop Grimes, and I remember that John King was more than helpful to me. He really got me through the game, and it was just a nice way to start out my varsity career.
And how did you make the jump to college?
I went to a camp. Back then there wasn't a whole lot of camps. Now there's a lot of camps tied in with AAU tournaments. Yeah. And referees would go, and each league would have a coordinator at these games. And I went to one, and the Big East had one down Philly. I can't remember what school it was, but I was refereeing, and Art Highland, who was a coordinator official to the Big East for quite a long time, he sent me a letter and said that we'd love to have you on the staff. And I was on the Big East staff 28 years. I'm the only referee to quit the Big East. I had a situation at West Virginia with Louisville with Pitino and Huggins.
Oh yeah.
Tough out of bounds play, and I was with Jim Haney and Les Jones.
Uh-huh.
And we got it right ultimately, but I got an email about 2 days later saying I was suspended from the Big East tournament for failure to follow proper things by not pointing which way the ball was going.
Oh my gosh!
So I sent them back, and I sent them back an email saying, if you don't rescind this in 2 days, I'm quitting. So I quit the Big East with 7 games left in the season. And then Rick Biagis took over the Big Ten. He coached with Jim O'Brien at BC and head coach at William & Mary. He called me up. He goes, "Did you quit the Big East?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "If you come with me, I'll give you 60 games." I said, "Okay." So my last 4 years, I did the Big Ten final 4 years in a row.
That is unbelievable.
So,
again, we have Mike Kitts here. Did you ever officiate Jerry Welch's games at Potsdam? Did you do?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
How was Jerry to you? Wasn't he tough?
He was tough. I never had an issue with Jerry. Never had an issue with Jerry. You got to go in there and be tough and mentally tough, but he had good teams up there, man. Wow,
oh yeah,
they were really good teams. Then I hit him at Iona.
Oh yeah,
and I had a son too.
Sure.
Timmy too, also.
Timmy?
But it was he was fair to me. So I can't say anything bad about Jerry Welch. I just talked to Timmy the other day. He called me. I hadn't talked to him in a couple of years, and his father's 88 years old.
I know.
He's still in good health. So.
I talk to Jerry.
Good man.
I talk to Jerry every once in a while. I always make him laugh, and there's reasons. But how about Coach Murphy at Hamilton? Did you have his games? He must have been tough on.
Oh yeah, he was tough. I had a game
teams
there one time with Lemoyne with John Beeline playing at Hamilton.
Oh my gosh!
Murph was tough, but you had to lay the law down with him. If you didn't, he's going to walk all over you.
Yeah.
But he was a great coach. I think he's with Billy Cohen at Northeastern. Still.
Yes, he is. Yes. I was at Morrisville. And did you referee Morrisville games? I thought I remembered you. I didn't play there, but I thought I remembered you officiating a game there. Did you ref there at Morrisville?
Yeah, I quite a bit of junior college games there.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. I was there quite a bit when I was younger.
Sure, yeah.
And then as you move along, you get away from that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's get to the heart of the matter right now. In high school, there's a big referee shortage. And I was just wondering what you think the reason is for the referee shortage, why there is a referee shortage, and what can be done to rectify it. I don't think that's happening at the college level, but in high school, it's a big problem. What's your opinion, and what do you think about that?
You know, I know there's a shortage at the lower levels, like freshman, junior high, JVs.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that I think the ADs and the coaches got to do a better job of educating the parents.
There you go.
You know, we got parents coming into the gym screaming and yelling at the referees. I've had 3 or 4 referees that got involved in high school that quit. He goes, Mike, I can't. We go in the gym, and right from the tip-off, the parents are screaming and yelling at us. I just think the ADs and the coaches got to do a better job. I think they should have a meeting with the parents before the season begins. This is our expectations.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we want you to do. You're coming here to watch your kid play. You're not coming here to yell and scream at the referees.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where it takes off from. Is that people just don't like that, and they just get out of it. And it's just, I think that's the big cause of, and I think it comes down to the ADs and coaches educating the parents. This is what we expect from you. You come here to watch your kid play. You're not coming here to yell at referees.
That's perfectly said, without a doubt. My guest here, I have a guest here, a local guy. He's got a question for you, Jim Varin. He's been refereeing for 50 years, by the way. Jim, go ahead.
Yeah, Mike, I'm only 48. I think I told you. Hi, Mike. Question for you.
Yes.
Through the years of officiating, and as you were stating, people walking in the gym, they think they can wreck on the referee from Jump Street. Have you seen or known of any schools in the country that have banned fans from going to the contest? The gym is totally empty other than the players and the referees.
I haven't heard of that, but I mean, I when I was younger, I mean, I remember doing a game at the Hamilton Street Boys Club, and I had 3 fans killing me. So I blew the whistle, and I told, who's in charge of this facility? The guy said, I am. I go, if those 3 people don't, you throw them out, I'm going to leave, and you can referee a game. But he threw the 3 people out. So, I mean, but you got to take a stand, and I took a stand. You know, whether he liked it or not, I wasn't going to be yelled at for 40 minutes or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
30 minutes. But
how do you
I haven't heard one school banning.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, Mike Kitts again. How do you have the thick skin at Division I? I mean, you must get screamed at. I mean, I know in high school, it's different, but Division I, they're overboard, and you have to hear it. I mean, obviously you have to have thick skin. What do you do to ignore that?
Yeah, it was I don't know. I just had a thing about my personality that it didn't bother me. I know I was doing the right thing out there all the time,
mm-hmm.
and trying to give both teams a chance to win the game. So, I just, one time at Madison Square Garden, because the security was unbelievable, I had a fan torment me about 3 rows up behind the scorer's table. And I just went over to the security guard and I go, you got to get this guy out of here. And Madison Square Garden, right up there, tap the guy on the shoulder, you're out of here. But it's just, I really never had a problem dealing with fans. If I did, I would go find the facility manager and tell him, look, either go talk to him to calm him down. If he doesn't calm down, I'm going to have to ask you to have him leave. But you got to be tough skinned out there, man. It's I ref Division I basketball for 31 years. So
gosh,
and it was just It was just, I think I was in Maui 6 times.
That
It was
must have
just
been
a
great.
great thing. I worked for the city of I worked for the city of Syracuse for 20 years, and I got a pension with them. I was civil service,
Mm-hmm.
and I started getting more games and making more money in 5 months than I was making money in 12 months working for the city. So I quit after 20 years and just referees. So
That's
it's
something
just,
else.
It was great. I'm glad that referee said something to me.
Talk about your son. I hear he's doing some big games, and I'd like to definitely. Is there any games that he's going to be on television? I'd like to maybe watch him.
I'll watch him today. He's at the Palestra today in Philly.
Okay.
He's got there's a tournament there to play. He's got Navy against Elon. It's on ESPN Plus at 2:00.
Wow.
And then tomorrow he's got Radford at St. Francis of PA. He got in the ACC this year.
That's great.
He did a game at BC, Carolina, Pittsburgh so far. People ask me, do I miss refereeing? I get my fix watching him referee because I'm very critical of him, and I get I'll write things down.
Sure.
But, I don't tell him enough, but he's got great composure and very good discipline with his whistle. Man, he waits and see that whole play from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
He's
A lot like you.
Referees. I wish I referee like that.
Well, you did, Mike. You did.
Plus he's a lot more handsome than mine, and he's got a full head of hair. So, but he got married a couple years ago. We got our first granddaughter, Carmela.
That's great.
It's just fun. He's 33 years old. He'll get to a Final Four someday. And it's just fun watching him referee.
What is the top paying conference? And you don't really have to give a number, but where do they get a game? I mean, if you don't want to give that number out, that's fine.
Well, I'll give you the number.
Okay.
Pac-12 is getting $4,000 a game, and then the Big East, ACC, Big Ten, SEC, $3,800.
Oh my gosh.
The mid majors, like the league with the Metro Atlantic, like Iona, Canisius, Niagara, they're paying $2,300.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Ivy League's about $2,000. So it's you do 80 games, 80, 90 games. Mike was saying to me one time, he goes, Dad, I did 7 games in a row, I'm exhausted. I go, Mike, when I was 61, I refereed a game from January 2nd to January 3rd, 28 Division I games in a row, and you're tired? Come on, will you? And but that was at 61, I did 104 games that year. That's the most I ever did. Most of the time, I was doing 80 to 90 games.
Man.
But that was in like 10 different leagues.
Mike, do you remember
when back then worked together? Now it's
when you did your first high school varsity game, how much did you get paid?
Yep.
On that first,
I think it was $35.
Oh my gosh.
that was 19. See, I started repping at 74. I got active at varsity games in 76 or 77. So that was, quite a way. I think it was $35 for the varsity game, somewhere around there.
Wow.
But I didn't do it for the money back then. We never.
I know. Yeah.
Involved, and you did it because you wanted to do it. I drive all over the place for free.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a great profession,
Yeah. One of my friends, he referees he coaches at Shaker High School, and he said that there's some high schools that have referee classes for physical education, and that's working. He loves that idea, and he thought he'd offer that. His name is Jeff Holmes. I'm not sure if you know him. Steve Holmes was his brother who coached at Geneseo. But I'm going to do some word association here for you, if that's okay. And if you don't want to answer some of these, that's okay. Danny Hurley. You don't have to answer that if you don't want to.
I love Danny when I repped this game when he was playing for Seton.
Oh, okay.
I love Danny when he played for Seton Hall. He was very competitive, very, very competitive. Coaching-wise, him and I talked during the season.
Mm-hmm.
We're good friends. I go, Danny, you got to quit showing referees up, man. You complain on every play. We talked the other day after the game he lost, the first game of Maui.
Did you really? Wow.
And I text him. I go, Dan, give me a call when you get a chance. Yeah. So I just said, Danny, you got to deal with these guys all year long. You're not starting out on the right foot, Dan. So, but he listens to me. I don't know if but we've been good friends since I left him when he played at Seton Hall.
He's a feisty son of a gun, isn't he? But a great coach.
Ooh, he's competitive, man.
Yep. Okay.
Sure is.
Caitlin Clark, word association.
I don't follow women's basketball a whole lot.
Okay.
I probably should do a better job at doing that, but I think she's a great player, and good shooter, and
passer, definitely.
Other than that, I don't know much about her, to be honest with you.
All right. Jim Burr.
My favorite referee of all time.
Wow.
I talk to him at least once a month. He's living in Florida.
Yep.
I think he did 16 or 18 Final Fours.
Yep, I know.
But just a no-nonsense guy. We had a situation when Miami was in the Big East. We got a game at Miami. It's me, him, I can't remember the third. And the Wednesday before that game, Connecticut played at Providence, and Calhoun really acted up and didn't get teched up. And Art Highland called us up, had a conference call, and said, look, I'm not saying to throw him out or anything like that, but if he gets out of hand, we got to take care of him,
Mm-hmm.
And so Bert texts him up about maybe 3 minutes and 48 seconds into the game. So now I got to come over as a center official in front of Calhoun, and he says to me, that effing midget does too many games, so I tech him up and throw him out. So he gets thrown out with 3 minutes and 48 seconds into the game. Calhoun gets thrown out.
That's amazing.
But Bert kept going, what do you say about me? I said, I'll tell you at halftime, Jim. Yeah, I'm not telling you now what he said about you.
Okay, Tom Lopes.
Yeah, he's my favorite referee.
Tom Lopes? No, that's another
Tom
word
Lopes.
association.
He's not doing too well physically right now.
Oh, I didn't know that. Gosh.
Yeah, he's got dementia.
Darn.
He's not doing good.
I loved him.
Just a good, solid referee. Not flamboyant. Not just a good guy and a good referee. Tom's one of my favorite friends.
Yeah. And Jim Boeheim.
I threw him out of an exhibition game up at the Dome. We're playing St. Rose, and I don't know what he got upset about, but I wasn't involved in it. So I told him, Coach, you're yelling at the wrong guy. So then he dropped a few F-bombs, and I threw him out. So that was the first year that Daryl Gross was the athletic director, and he knocks on at the referee's door at halftime. I says, sir, you're not supposed to be here before, during, or after the game. That's a Big East policy. But is it proper protocol for your employees to drop F-bombs on people? Do you like that? It was absolutely not. I said, well, Coach dropped about 20 F-bombs on me. That's why he's going to watch the second half in the locker room. And,
you're making me chuckle, by the way. You really are. You're I'm laughing a lot.
We don't. When we see each other, he still. This is a great story. There was a tryout in Villanova for some kind of big tournament, and the Big East referees were refereeing it. And my boss, Art Highland, came up to me and he says, "Have you talked to Boeheim since you threw him out?" I said, "No." He goes, "Well, why don't you go?" I said, "If you're telling me as my boss to go and talk to him, say something to him, I will." So I walk over. I said, "Jim, I want to put out the olive branch." And he puts his finger in my face and says, "You were wrong. I wasn't." So I put my finger in his face and said, "F you," and I walked away. I told Art Highland, I said, "I told you it wasn't going to go very well."
That's
so I just, I don't. He's never wrong. He's always right. It's always he's I got
Felix Addeo ready to call me, so we're going to finish up. But I have to ask you my one last question I ask everyone. Michael or LeBron? I have to ask that.
Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Michael Jordan. Yeah.
Okay, Mike, you are phenomenal. Thank you so much for calling in. Class act, as always. Thank you for giving me that playoff game a long time ago. I'm sorry I had to go use a connection for that. I'm sorry, but thank you anyway.
Okay, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
And you are great. Mike Kitts, one of the top officials ever. So take care, okay?
Thank you, Tom.
Okay, bye. Okay, we have a next guest. And who do we have here? Is this Felix?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Felix. Felix Addeo, executive. Did I say it wrong? Say it.
Addeo, that's fine.
Addeo. Okay. He's the executive director of Addeo, which covers most high school sports. And the one thing I love that you said one time, and I did a little research, is we got to get the veteran officials involved in visibility in a positive way. I love that. And that was phenomenal. So let's get right into the heart of it. There is a referee shortage. There's no doubt there's a referee shortage in high school. And I was wondering if you could address it and see how we can rectify it. And, any ideas on how to solve it. Or that's the same thing as rectifying. I'm sorry. And this is Felix at Addeo, and he's from New Jersey, and he has 3 children. Before we get into that, are any of them officiating?
No, they're not. They're all busy being husbands, workers, and raising their children. So the officiating takes a commitment of travel time.
Yeah, I know.
They do a lot of traveling within their jobs. So they're avid sports fans and watch what I have done and what my friends are doing presently.
Sure. Okay, let's get into that question that I asked.
Okay, IBO, the International Association of Approved Basketball Officials, and it's basketball only, and it's run by basketball officials for basketball officials, and we take officiating very seriously. I heard Mike Kitts mention Tom Lopes. I had the great pleasure of succeeding Tom Lopes as executive director. He laid a great foundation for this organization, and Tom has been a dear friend of mine, obviously coming from New Jersey. Mm-hmm. It's just been great to have that association, and I had visited him a few times, and as Mike mentioned, health is not his forte now, but his legacy is certainly far and above all of those that I had witnessed in my lifetime. So I've been a member of IBO for 52 years.
Wow.
And officiated just high school only. Never, my profession as a CPA ran concurrently with basketball season, so it was very difficult for me to get extensive travel. So I officiated high school only. I started when I was 19. When I was 19 in college, and I had a dear friend tutor me and show me the ropes, which is what has always led me to believe that the experienced officials have to make this look like a good profession and avocation for young people. Young people just don't want to pursue this when they see what's going on. And of course, when I started back in 1972, there was no video. So, video has changed this, in social media where you can have a reputation that runs rampant in a short period of time. So from that perspective, what is IBO doing? IBO, the buzzwords are really the 3 R's in this. You have to recruit, you have to retain, and really you have to reinforce. So IBO's main mission is to educate, train, develop, and provide that continuous instruction. And I don't think the average individual or spectator knows the time commitment that's put into officiating education, that everyone goes to meetings every year and continues, views video. And what IBO does is provide the educational tools to the local boards. And the local interpreters are our key advocates in as far as putting together the educational part of this. So that's what IBO is doing. We're working very heavily on education and training. We try recruiting. We have IBO University, which is an online educational program. We also have a crew of 2, which is primarily what's being done in most of the high schools. But we also have a crew of 3 video to give the educational background. But, Tom, I try to liken it to the driver's test. You take your driver's test, you know what the yield means, you know what the red light means. But until somebody throws you the keys, you don't really know what you're doing until you get in that car.
I know what you mean.
That's where the local boards really do take over and do an excellent job of mentoring and training the official. Once the official has their experience, now our job is to retain them. And we find that statistics show that most officials leave within the first, the second, and third year.
Yes.
Because of the uncomfortable situation that they may have encountered. So we try to bring them along, and that's where experience and age sometimes really helps in bringing along some individuals. I had some great mentors in my day, and they, of course, were all 40 years older than me.
You can name a couple. They'd love to probably hear.
Dominic Cuccinello was one individual who I succeeded as the Secretary-Treasurer in Board 33.
Okay.
Then there was Phil Miller, another Division I official back in the day, and an individual by the name of Red Pash. And they were very strong influences for me and how to officiate this game the right way.
What, in your opinion, is fan conduct out of hand? And if you think it really is there anything that we can do maybe a little harsher? Because last year I didn't officiate because of I have a disability, and I was in the stands a lot. And I'm not kidding you, Felix. It was horrible. It was horrible what they were saying, and I don't know. In high school, and just my opinion, being a former referee, and I know I shouldn't be talking about my opinions. I want to get your opinions, but I think we got to start tossing people. That's just my opinion. So. Well,
once again, I've sat in the stands many times now at the stage I'm at in life and observing officials, and I don't see a spectator tell an unruly spectator to calm down. I think that unruly individual tends to bring the people who are there to observe the game into their mode more than they're trying to reduce the tension that he has created. And I think that's one big thing. If there's some self-policing in the stands, it would be nice. So, Mr. Jones, please, we're here to watch the game. Can you calm down? I think everyone fears saying that. As officials, we're told not to engage spectators.
Yep. I know.
We have to go to the local home administrator and tell them about the individual, and then it's up to security to remove that. Because once you engage a spectator, that is a no-win situation. So we encourage that all along to not do that and leave that up to the proper authorities.
What made you... Okay, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
If there was some self-policing, it might be helpful. And of course, if the administrators, as was mentioned previously before, if the administrators took charge and spoke to the parents and spectators, it would be helpful.
Yeah. I did address a few people that were out of hand, and it just it escalated. And, and I didn't want to, I said, Tom, don't say anything anymore. There's nothing I could do. So, but I think it's fan conduct. A lot of the young officials are having a problem with that. It really is tough. So, how about pay? Do you think pay should increase? Would that help?
I think, once again, I'm talking at the high school level. I don't think there's any full-time, as Mike Kitts mentioned, where you leave a job because the pay is better in officiating. That generally doesn't happen in high school. I mean, you can referee as many games as you want. You'll probably burn out before you get rich. So it's something that I think is fair. In New Jersey here, we really don't have travel. The fees are what they are, up and around the $100 range, plus or minus. I mean, when I started, it was JV was $10.
Oh my gosh!
Freshman was $10, JV was $12.50, and the varsity was $22.50.
You didn't mind that, though, did you?
Well, $22.50. We probably went out after it and spent $25. So I never came home with money. But it was the fraternizing and the group of people I met, and really the associations I've made have lasted almost 50 years. With people that you meet along the way. So I've always been grateful for that side of it.
Yeah.
And,
doesn't officiating it helps with friendships for life? It really does. These guys are going to be friends for life. I could tell you one thing about Tom Lopes, who he actually came to our board. He flew in Plattsburgh and gave just an unbelievable presentation, which tells you what type of person Tom is. And he actually was the principal of in Keensburg of many of my relatives. So him and I hit it off pretty well. And is there anything I could do? I mean, I love the guy, so I don't know.
Well, Tom, I see he's down in Red Bank, New Jersey. He has a very dear friend, Lou DeGeorge, who lives in the same complex, and they've been friends since childhood. Mm-hmm. So they see each other. I occasionally get over there. I call him every once in a while, and see how he's doing. He sounds great on the phone. He still has the wit, that's a God-given wit.
Yeah.
Me. He's and I never saw anyone diffuse people as I watched him on television. Nobody diffused
he was excellent.
Contentious situation like he did.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how a coach can go from screaming to laughing in the same 30 seconds. So, but that was Tom's forte.
Yeah, it really was. So, so as far as the fan conduct, again, I'm getting back to that.
Sure.
I love what you said. It's got to be policed better, and I really, it's just my opinion again, and I hate offering my opinion. And again, this is Felix Addeo, but I think we have to start tossing more. That's just my opinion. I've never been that way, but that's just my opinion as an official for 35 years. Any comments on that one, what I just said?
No, as I said, the tossing is not the job of the official.
I know.
It's
game
really
management.
The job of the game management. And we have to do, and I don't think there's an official first of all, most officials are tuning out what's going on there. The concentration level is the requirement for that is so great that many times you don't hear it. It depends on the size of the gym and the number of people in it. The more people in, the better. Mm-hmm. When you've got one of those games where there might be 80 to 90 people and you have a few vociferous objectors, they're the ones that can resonate throughout the entire place. But nothing like a crowded gym to bury the naysayers. You're always going to be 50% reaction on every call you make. I mean, because when you come down to it, spectators are really it's an inherent bias. They're for their team no matter what, and they only see one way. Once you recognize that, you know that you've got to do within yourself the right thing.
Felix, we got another guest coming on. I appreciate so much. Again, Felix Addeo, Executive Director of Addeo, calling in Plattsburgh, New York, to our association. That says a lot about you. It really does, in your entire organization, our entire organization. So you take care. And if you could text me Tom Lopes' telephone number, I'd love to just give him a call if you could. You don't feel obligated. But thank you so much.
All right, you take care.
You take care, too.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Okay, bye. Okay, we're gonna take a little break, And then I'm going to be calling Tom Chichester. And after we talk to Tom, we'll have DJ Carstensen. Okay. Thank you.
At Facette Realty, our phones are ringing off the hook. Buyers are searching, but there's just not enough inventory. Are you thinking of selling your home? Now is the perfect time. List with one of our experienced agents and take advantage of the high demand. Our skilled team will help you get the best price for your property. We provide comprehensive real estate services in Clinton, Essex, and Franklin counties. Visit FacetteRealty.com or call us at 518-324-4500 today. Don't wait. A well-qualified buyer is already looking for a home like yours.
Hey everyone, Ernie at Kia, Plattsburgh, New York. Listen, have a fantastic deal for you, and here it is. Lease a brand new 2024 Kia Forte LXS for $199 a month with $29.99 due at signing. You want more? How about 41 miles per gallon highway, 30 miles per gallon city? How about an 8-inch infotainment center with touchscreen, Bluetooth, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto? You want more? Top this off with Kia's world-class customer service experience. And folks, I think you'll agree with me, this is a great deal. Our motto is simple. We make it easy. Kia, 52 Della Drive, Plattsburgh, New York, DellaKia.com. $29.99 due at signing. Stock number 240317. MSRP $22,235. 2024 Kia Forte LXS $199 per month, 36 months, 10,000 miles per year, $650 acquisition fee, no security deposit required. Through Kia Motor Finance, not all buyers will qualify. Tax, title, $175 doc fee not included. Expiration date 12/4/24.
Bring in your old light or lamp that's not working and have Champlain Valley Electric change the socket, rewire, or add a new lampshade to make your light look new again. They're located at 118 Hammond Lane in Plattsburgh and are open Monday through Fridays 8 a.m. until 4 in the lighting showroom and 7 a.m. until 4 at the electric counter.
With Champlain Valley Electric Supply, home can be all it can be.
We are back with the Tom Lacey Sports Show on Hometown Radio, WIRY, and once again, here's Tom.
Hi, everyone. So far, we've had some great guests, Felix, Addeo, Mike Kitts, and our next guest, I have to give him a call. His name is Tom Chichester. He is the assigner for the ABA. He also did Division I. And let me call right now. Well, actually, you have to call. I'm sorry. Let me give you the number. Okay. It's, oops. I don't care if everyone hears your number, Tom, if you're listening. 585-329-0707. And if you guys want to officiate in the ABA, that's the number to call. So here we go. Let's hope Tom answers the phone. Tom Chichester.
I got an out-of-service number.
Out of service, okay. Let me have him call here. It works. That happened one other time, believe it or not. So we'll fix this. Don't worry. Okay. So sorry, everyone. Again, Tom Chichester. Gosh, he'd be upset with me if he heard me. So, okay. Hopefully, you guys are liking the show. I love what Jim Varin said too, our local guy. 50 years of officiating. Did you guys hear that? 50 years, and he's only 48. 48 years old. How did that happen? So I'm hoping that Tom gets this message. And let's see. Sometimes people don't read their text messages. So and I'm sorry for being a little unorganized. But sometimes we have this problem here, and eventually it'll be fixed. So. Don't worry. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to call him on my cell phone and tell him to call. Okay, so bear with me.
Tom?
Yes. Yes, okay.
One thing I wanted to talk to Mike about and local officials
Morning, Tom.
Oh, you got him.
Can you call that number that I just gave you?
Okay.
Okay. Bye. Okay, go ahead.
One other thing that is very, very important to officials, I say social media has hurt officiating through the years. Back in the day we had no social media, and the camaraderie amongst our officials and the friends you make throughout the local area, the state, the country. But one thing that's underestimated is your other halves. Shout out to Kim, for me, Doris. Our other halves are very, very important to allowing us to officiate.
Okay, that was Jim Varin. Again, Tom, are you there?
Yes, I'm right here.
Okay. Sorry about the technical issues. Wiry has been here for 75 years, by the way. It's just a staple in the North Country, and it's a phenomenal station. And
nice.
So I'm glad that you got a chance to call.
Sports channel, Tom?
What's that?
Has it always been a sports channel?
No, it covers everything. They do birthdays. They march around the table. They have the Pledge of Allegiance. They have songs. They do so many things for the North Country. It's a staple.
They do a lot. Okay.
Yeah, it's been here 75 years. And
wow.
Okay, I can't. I have to kind of keep it short because DJ, it's probably going to be about 10 minutes. I'm going to go as quick as I can.
Because DJ what?
He's going to be. We're supposed to be ending at at 9:40, so that's why I have to hurry. So I hope you don't mind.
You got to fit DJ in after me?
Yeah, DJ Carstensen. He's going to be after you, but don't worry about it. We'll be fine.
Okay.
Okay. Tell me about your first Division I game that you ever did.
Am I on radio right now, Tom?
Yes, you are. Yep.
Thanks for telling me.
I thought I did. Tom, by the way,
I
Tom
thought
Chichester.
we were chatting before.
No, thank God that you know that. Tom Chichester is one of my better friends. So we kid around a lot. So.
Okay. Well, thank you for the heads up.
Okay.
And first of all, Tom, I want to say congratulations to you for, this position on this very well-known radio station. All the best to you with it. Mm-hmm. And it's a pleasure to be here this morning on your show.
Okay. Let's get right into it right away.
Go ahead.
The referee shortage at the lower levels. What can be done? What's causing it, in your opinion?
Well, I think the landscape has changed since the pandemic, Tom. And you have a lot of officials on the average age group is on the higher side, and a lot of them just kind of retired, stepped aside at that time, and so those numbers at the top have declined quite a bit, and the numbers on the bottom are decreasing greatly, and a lot of it's due to, I think, just the lack of respect of officials that have been. There's bad sportsmanship at youth levels. You got to remember, these as referees, they all come in at the youth level for the most part,
mm-hmm.
and that's where we're seeing, I think, across the country, a terrible, a large increase in bad sportsmanship.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the younger officials just, they don't want to deal with the abuse. So that number you see is, I think, sharply on the decrease. Excuse me, sharply on the decrease. And so, the perfect storm, so to speak, where you got decline and people getting off at the top and less coming in at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
It creates the problem that we're seeing throughout the country.
Mm-hmm. By the way, Tom is the assigner for the American Basketball Association, and he does a great job. He officiated Division I. Again, we have Tom Chichester here. And we've known each other for a long time. Actually, he officiated some of my games when I was coaching, and he did a phenomenal job. Tell me about the positives and negatives of when you refereed at Division I.
Well, first of all, it was I considered it a honor to have attained and worked those ranks of Division One. As you know, that's kind of the goal of officiating. If once you get into the business, to see if you could get to that level, and there's only so many, a very few amount of Division One officials. So the positives, there was many positives working that level, and the negative. I don't know if there was any negatives other than maybe the travel got a little tiresome at time, but it was always exciting, and I looked at it as a privilege and an honor to be able to work at that level with those athletes and coaches.
We have a lot of excellent referees in our area. Is there any games that are kind of close to Plattsburgh, and could you tell what the game fee is? Would they get travel? What are the closest games to Plattsburgh where maybe they could go to? And
are we referencing
ABA?
College, Tom?
ABA.
Oh, in ABA.
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the closest is probably Saratoga.
Okay.
That area. And they just came onto the scene this season, and they're doing quite well with a nice ownership group and fanfare there locally.
Mm-hmm.
But the ABA has changed. This is its 25th season. A lot of people don't even know that it existed or exists. But this is the 25th season, and it's about 150 teams throughout the United States. And it went from 8 teams to a staff of 40. I had officials that were basically all Division I caliber officials to, staffs now throughout the country of, several hundreds. And, it's primarily just very local. Mm-hmm. And the fees, of course, have changed from high to low just because it's turned into just some regional basketball.
Sure.
And created a lot of opportunities for the players, coaches, and officials. And especially because of this, it's created opportunities for newer officials to get involved and enhance their officiating skills through game management that they deal with. But locally in the Plattsburgh area.
Saratoga? Again, we have Tom Chichester. Is there any teams in Albany or Utica?
There is. Yeah, there's teams in Ithaca. There's teams, teams in Albany, teams in Syracuse, Rochester, Buffalo, Binghamton.
Okay. And again,
and
Tom
Connecticut,
is
New Jersey.
Yep, Tom's from Rochester, and I've known him for a long time. And I'm going to do some word association with you right now. Can you handle this?
We'll
okay.
see, Tom.
The first one is on the chow. Do you? All right, you don't have to answer
on
that
the
one.
chow. Okay, well that goes back to our days working in the state. And
yep.
I'll give a little back history quick. Tom was a coach, and he was looking for a career in corrections and in recreational management and in the system, and it was a full-time job. And Tom made his move from coaching, and I hired him as what we call RPL 1.
Yep.
Right, Tom?
Oh yeah.
And he made a great career out of it. And
thank you so much, by the way.
Upper supervision from that, and was very successful in that business. But we have certain terms that we use, or phrases that we use with each other, that were those types of terms used within the system of DOCs.
Okay.
And I'm a chop.
Let's go.
That brings back many memories, Tom.
Let's go to Jim Hutter. Any one word, a couple words, anything?
Guy who's dedicated to his craft.
Okay. Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark.
Don't tell me you're not watching women's basketball.
No, of course. I officiate women's basketball as well now. Tom, women's college. I do both. Yeah, she's changed the landscape of I think of women's basketball here, and just like back in the day, Magic Johnson and Larry Bird did to the NBA.
Okay, how about Tom Curl?
TC, a.k.a. Coach.
That's all? Nothing else?
Good guy.
Okay.
Your friend.
LeBron or Michael?
Michael.
Okay. And your favorite partner ever?
Favorite partner ever?
That's a tough one. I'm sure you've had a lot of great partners, so you don't have to answer that one. You don't have
to be my wife. How's that?
I love that one. That is phenomenal, Tom. And I feel so bad because we only have an hour on the show, and I have to get to DJ who's waiting, and I really appreciate.
DJ.
Want me to say something to him?
Yeah, just give him my best.
Okay.
Tell him, say that if he remembers his old bunk mate back in the days when we were at camp sweating it out, trying to make it into Division I.
Okay, I'll do that.
At camps.
Okay.
And, well, hey, Tom, thank you
so much,
having
Tom.
me on your show, and I wish you all the best on this show.
Tom Chichester. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Okay. Our next guest, and I think we're having problems when we call there, so I might have to call him and have it. Let's try it first. Let me give you. Well, no, I can't give the number because I'll call him. Well, we're going to take a break, okay? And then I'll call him right now and have him call. Okay. Thank you. That's a good idea.
Is someone else's drinking affecting your life? Does it make you feel angry?
Don't yell at me because you're mad at your mom. She's the drunk, not me.
Does it make you feel sorry for yourself?
Hey, Tanya's drinking again, and maybe next time.
Or does it even make you feel frightened?
Does Daddy have to drink so much?
No matter how you feel, we can help. We're Al-Anon family groups, and we know what it's like. Just call 1-888-4-AL-ANON. To help them, you have to help yourself first.
Getting advice from a teenager is a little unusual, but please listen to me. If you find yourself pregnant and you're scared, I've got some advice because I've been there. My boyfriend wasn't ready to be a father, and frankly, he wasn't all that interested after I told him I was pregnant. My friends told me I should keep the baby because it would be fun. Well, having a baby is about the baby. It's not about whether I have fun. Some people told me my parents would help take care of the baby, but my baby still wouldn't have both a mom and a dad of her own. And that's really important to me. After putting my feelings aside, I made the best decision I could for my baby. Not because I felt it was easy, but because I felt it was right.
Adoption. It's about love.
I didn't give my baby up. I gave her more.
A message from LDS Family Services. For more information, visit itsaboutlove.org.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or AA.org.
Hi, DJ. Are you there?
Yep.
How's everything? Do you have a game today, by the way? I'm just wondering.
No game today. No game today.
That's a good thing. And by the way, I think I told you that you did a great job last night. You really did.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm hoping one of these days you get to the Final Four or even the top game. You deserve it, but that's my opinion. Again, DJ Carstensen. Did I keep pronouncing your name incorrectly?
Carstensen.
Carstensen. Okay, I'm so sorry about that. And
that's
of course, right. Ed Jones said to say hello to you right away. And so let's get right into it right away. First thing I want to talk about, of course, is at the lower levels, I'm sure it's not happening at the college level, but what do you think is causing the referee shortage? What can be done about it? And is there any insight that you would have on it? And also, talk about your first varsity game, high school game ever, too.
Yes, I think the shortage is related to, the issues of getting young officials, doing games and getting abused, at the games by, parents and coaches. And it's just a situation where, we're unable to have young officials sustain, their interest in officiating. And it's not just a basketball, issue. It's all sports. And
you're right.
I think it's disappointing. But I think young officials just say, I don't want to go through this. I'm in essence providing a service. I mean, I know they're getting paid, but they're providing a service, and some of them are former athletes and are looking at a way to stay in the game. I think as an association or a fraternity, officials, we can do a better job also of getting the word out. And what I mean by that is, when you have an opportunity to speak to young athletes, or you identify somebody in your community who played, a high school sport that, maybe, as a person and has integrity and character, and you're saying to yourself, hey, this person would be ideal for, being a sports official, is reaching out to those people. Because I do think there's some people that might have interest but don't understand the process, or, the steps needed to be taken to get involved. Mm-hmm. And then what some of the opportunities are down the road. I think that's, the other thing that people don't realize. For me personally, I coached, and, I was the head basketball coach at Proctor High School in Utica. And when they consolidated the three high schools, UFA, Proctor, and Kennedy, in New York State, if you're not a teacher, and you go up against somebody who is a teacher, you don't get the job. And so I didn't get the job, and somebody came to me and said, hey, how'd you like to stay in the game and get involved in officiating? And that's how I got involved in officiating, and started, with 5th and 6th grade, did 5th and 6th grade, and, junior high, modified, freshman JV, did all the steps. I never skipped a step. Today it's a little bit different. But did all the steps, along the way. So,
in order, DJ, refereeing, coaching, or playing, what are the three in order?
as far as
as you loved, your favorites.
I think probably playing. I think you always look at yourself as a player. Mm-hmm. Even though I've had far more success as an official, had a little bit of success as a coach. I just loved the game. I was always playing. I was self-motivated. Coaching, I think looking back, if when I get done officiating here, which is going to be much sooner than later, I wouldn't mind getting back into coaching.
That's great.
Because I enjoyed that, but also, to have the opportunity to have an impact on young people. Officiating's been great because it keeps you in the game. I love doing the games. I don't enjoy the travel. That gets old after a while, but also enjoy the relationships that, the people I've had an opportunity to meet, that I never would have, had that opportunity if not for officiating.
Mm-hmm. How at the Division I level, how do you drown out the fan negativity? Because it's bad. I mean, you can see it on television.
Yeah, no,
it is bad.
It is. it is bad. I don't, one, I'm not a social media person, so I block out, the hundreds of thousands of people that don't like me, or think I'm terrible. But you just, you have a job to do, and I think, you're doing it in trying to make the right decisions, and 50% of the time, somebody's not going to be happy, with that, decision. I think as time goes on, and the way college athletics and athletics in general has the direction that's gone, officials are really the only gatekeeper still involved in the game, right? Everybody who's involved in the game has an angle, right? The only people that don't have an angle are the officials. And if you just look at coaches today, at the Division I level, whether it be football or basketball, when they walk into the building, there's really nobody there in the building that tells them no. Right? Even athletic directors, the coaches wield so much power. So when they go on the court, they got three people who they don't have control over. And I think that's, frustrating for them in some, respect. And, the official's job is just to do the best they can, get as many plays right, and, do what they think is best.
For you guys that don't know DJ, if you watch an ESPN game, he's on there 1 out of 4 times. He's a guy that he's probably 6'8". He's bald. I think he shaves his head himself, but he never gets rattled out there, and I think that's one of his main attributes to officiating. He just doesn't get rattled. I've never seen him rattled. He just calls the game like it is, and I think coaches really love him for that. And I do remember working a SUNYAC game with you in Utica. It was Fredonia, and I remember your pregame. You were all business, and I'm not kidding you. No joking around, flat out all business. And I knew right there that there was something special about this guy. And you did it the hard way. You went to camps, and I know all about all the things, and you made it, and I'm very proud. A lot of people are proud of you, and just one, I had to throw that in there. So
I think that was at the Utica Auditorium too, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. There wasn't a lot of people there, I remember.
No.
But I do remember your pregame, all business, and it was outstanding. And I'm going to do a little word association here with you, if you don't mind.
No.
Okay. Hal Cohen. Do you know Hal?
I do know Hal Cohen. Hal Cohen, I played in the Empire State Games with, 1 year.
Oh wow!
And I, would have some interactions with his dad, because his dad was helping out at Potsdam State.
Yep.
I think when Jerry Mitchell, if I have that name correct, was coaching.
Bill Mitchell. Yep.
At Potsdam. Bill Mitchell. I'm sorry.
Don't worry.
And Hal Cohen, if I had one word, it would be just professional.
There you go.
I just think he was, I met him, more so after his playing days at Syracuse. But to me, he was just always professional, just sort of a classy individual, as was his dad, in the, interactions that I had with him.
Hal's listening, by the way, so you can say hello to him. Let's go to Ed Jones.
Energy. Coach Jones, I don't think ever had a bad day. He just, especially around the game of basketball. I mean, he just loved the game of basketball. It wouldn't matter if he, was being paid nothing or, $1 or $1 million. His attitude toward the game was always the same. Passionate, high energy, love for the game, love for the players that he was coaching, and I don't think he ever shortchanged anybody when he was involved in basketball.
How about Larry Cowan?
Larry Cowan was a people person.
Mm-hmm.
He had a gift of being able to connect with people. Whether it be coaching or administrative. He was just always a fun person to be around.
He was funny, wasn't he? We miss him.
He was.
And I'm sure you miss him too. Larry Costello.
Larry Costello, competitive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there was a more competitive person than having been involved in the process where he got inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. That was a comment amongst the players that played for him and with him, that he was as competitive a person as they came across, either in college or in the NBA.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if you remember this one, DJ. Dave Ankrum. Do you remember him?
Yeah, Dave Ankrum. Dave Ankrum.
He's a friend of mine, that's why. And he's listening too.
Dave was, actually, Dave took me, when I visited Utica, he was my host when they were transitioning from Division III to Division I. And Dave's career was over, but what Dave didn't tell me, like I visited Utica, and it was like the two nicest days in the history of the Mohawk Valley, where the sun was out both days. Dave did not tell me that was not the case all the time. But what I remember about Dave is, left-handed. He was a guy that played Division III basketball, but was talented to have played at a, higher level. He was a really good player.
I went to Morrisville with him, and is that true? He shattered a backboard at Utica. Did you hear anything on that?
Yeah, I didn't, but I just remember playing with him and stuff, and he was just a really good player and a good guy. I mean, he had a great sense of humor and just once again a people person.
No doubt,
connected with people.
How about Mike Kitts?
Yeah, Mike Kitts. I would use two words, friend and mentor. He was, he's a friend today, and as I was coming up, he was, a mentor and somebody that, I bounced a lot of things off of, and refereed a number of games with him. So, somebody who was very important in my, what little success I've had, in officiating, he's been a big part of.
How about Jeff Anderson? Did you officiate with him last night? Was he?
High step. No, he wasn't on my game, but I have a game coming up with Jeff, and
High step is right.
Yeah, high step. He's he's a guy that I always look forward to refereeing, with, because you never have to worry about anything in the game. He has a great presence on the court, and just nothing ever goes wrong, and if things get sideways, he's somebody that takes care of business.
Yeah, I'm going to tell a really quick story about Jeff, and I don't like talking about myself because it's not about me, but I had a tryout at Wagner, and he was in my group, and I could tell that he was going to make it. I really knew that this guy had it. And we had a great time. We chatted, and I remember going to a Siena-Albany game, and he comes out, and he sees me in the crowd, of all things, and he waves to me, which was so nice. I'm just, a fan, and that just shows, what type of person he is.
Humble guy for all the success that he's had. Yeah, very humble guy.
Mm-hmm. Division III basketball. Tell me, that's another word association.
Division III basketball, Division III basketball, for me personally, Division III basketball meant, earning my stripes, and from an officiating standpoint, because and you were around at that time too, Tom. The level, but not only was there really good Division III basketball, but there were a bunch of legendary coaches at that time.
Yep.
And Tom Murphy at Hamilton, and Welsh at Potsdam, and Lambrose at Hartwick, and
Albany.
Scanlon
Who's the
at
Albany
Union,
guy
and,
again?
Yes, Doc Sauer.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was just a who's who, and at that time those games were 2-man games.
Yes.
Right. So they were hard games, but they taught you, one, how to officiate, but how to communicate, because you were communicating with. And when I say difficult coaches, I mean coaches that were, really good coaches, very competitive. And there were rivalries within the coaches, So for me, that was a great learning experience.
Did you ever have the Albany Potsdam game ever? That was the biggest rivalry.
Yeah,
those two guys did not like one another.
Yeah, no. I'm trying to think if I did or not.
That would have been a big one.
Yeah, there weren't any easy nights, back in those days.
Okay, another word association. It's 3 letters, PBA. A lot of people are listening because they love the PBA back then.
Oh, the PBA. I'm sorry. The PBA was awesome. I mean, I think, I shared with you, that the one year that I played in a couple of years, but the one year where we made it to the final, I think you had a couple guys from West Virginia.
Oh, yes.
And
Holman Harley.
Yeah, that's right. We played. Rick Carlisle was playing. Rick Carlisle's team, and he had Steve Babiars on the team, who was a great player at Potsdam, and we beat them in the semifinals, and then played Mike Dean and them in the finals and lost a close game. But I loved coming up to Plattsburgh. They did an awesome job with that tournament.
Yeah,
that was a great. I don't even know if it's still going on.
No, it's not, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
because it was just a great, and you'd see a lot of the same people, and it was I remember Keith Saplicki playing.
Oh yeah.
He played on that Mike Dean team with Jeff Brown, who's the coach at Middlebury.
Yes.
And, there were a lot of good players, and it was just a good time because you saw people, and sometimes you only saw them at that event. But the people in the community did a great job of putting on the tournament.
Mm-hmm. The people that are listening love hearing that, DJ. They really do. I'll tell you. Let's see. I always ask this question to everyone. I have to LeBron or Michael. I have to ask that.
Yeah, and it's funny because we were just talking to, we were just having this discussion. I mean, Michael.
There you go.
And I think, and we were, I don't know, we were talking to a couple of the, I'm trying to think who we were talking to. It was either officials or the guys that were like the, announcers, kind of thing. It just came up in discussion, and I think we were, if Michael Jordan played today, I mean, he'd score 50 points a game. I mean, like, the way the rules are, not that LeBron wouldn't be successful back in the day because he's such a freak, physical, athlete, he'd get it done, but you could guard LeBron, you could use your forearm, you could bump him. There were no free baskets. I mean, he would have taken a little bit of a beating from the Rick Mahorns and the Bill Lambiers and the, but Jordan, with the way the game is called today, I don't know how you'd guard him. I just, I think he'd score a gazillion points.
I want to end on this. I want you to comment on it. We'll end on this. I did talk about that 4th grade tournament in Vermont, in Swanton, Vermont, where a referee and a parent came on the court, and the referee, they had a melee, and the referee died of a heart attack. What do you think about something like that happening? That's, again, fan conduct, right?
Yeah, I think, just in that situation, and there's other situations similar to that, that, to me, I think it's important for parents and especially coaches in youth programs to understand their role, right? To understand the impact they have on other people, especially young people. We have it even at our level, right? People behaving in an embarrassing way, and it filters down. And when kids see that, they think it's acceptable.
Yep.
When parents do it, it's a learned, behavior. And, that situation is bad. Number one, you got somebody officiating who's doing it for the love of the game.
4th grade, too.
And, and you're talking about elementary age kids.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it just is. And it's like, how did we get, sideways to where, somebody thinks that that's the right way about going. Coaches should coach, players should play, and officials should officiate. Right?
There you go.
It's real simple. Yep. And when we get into other people's boundaries, that creates problems.
Well,
and I don't see it getting better, Tom.
I
That's
know.
the problem.
You're absolutely right. I think everyone around our area that know you are rooting for you to be in the Final Four this year. I know I am. I know Ed Jones is, and keep up the great work. And I think you're going to be there because you're, in my opinion, you don't get rattled out there. You never get rattled, and I think coaches really love that. So we got to end. We're running overtime actually.
No, I appreciate it, Tom. Thanks.
No, it's so nice of you to take time, and you did a great. What was it? The West Virginia and Minnesota game.
It was Minnesota and Wake Forest.
Oh,
yesterday.
Wake Forest. Okay.
Yep.
When's your next game? When's it on ESPN? Well, we'll watch it.
I have some games in the Big Ten next week. Conference play starts, and I think most of those are on the Big Ten Network, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Well, good luck to you, DJ, and
Appreciate
thank you
Tom.
so much. You take care.
Yep, take care. You bet. Bye now.
Okay, bye. That'll end it, and I want to thank Wiry for letting me go overtime on this. We just had some outstanding guests, and I couldn't cut them short, and I did cut a couple short, and I feel bad about it, especially Tom Chichester, who had a lot to talk about, but he knows. And also Jim Varin for coming in. I think it was a really good show. And again, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye.